Hello and welcome back to the Perth to Paisley podcast, episode number 126, an episode covering our second Derby defeat of the podcast. Took us 125 episodes to get another one, but it's here as Hearts suffered their sixth successive loss as Hibernian defeated us in the Edinburgh Derby. As ever, I am Daniel and joined by the optimistic, right up for it, Adam Kennedy. Adam, how you doing?
I've been worse, mate. I've certainly been better, but
Yeah.
I've been worse. Yeah, all right. At best, how are you?
I'm actually doing really good.
Good.
Not within Hearts, obviously. Like within
No,
Hearts, I'd like to not think about them, but generally doing good. So I'm probably going to not be as downbeat as perhaps a lot of people expected or anything like that. But it's probably not going to be a lot of positivity from the episode, if we're being honest. As
perhaps the understatement of the year.
yeah, exactly. We've got a Edinburgh Derby loss to cover, which is a rarity for us, but we're going to have to do it however
This
first.
is shite in it. This
It's
feeling.
no great.
It's the worst.
No great at all. But first, to avoid speaking about it for as long as we can, we'll go around the grounds. However, in terms of Hearts, it doesn't make for great reading either in terms of the way other results went, as there was a Friday night kickoff as Aberdeen continued to motor their way to third place.
Which was televised as opposed to the Edinburgh Derby, which again, just want to speak, with the utmost praise towards the fantastic TV deal that we have with Sky Sports. They really care about the Scottish game. And it's great to see that those at the heart of the Scottish game are running it in such a remarkable fashion.
Just great quality. Well, those who were watching on TV got to see Aberdeen win 1-0 in the Highlands. Then on the Saturday games, there was our game, obviously, which we'll speak about. And then Livingston kind of sorted the ship around as they won 2-0, which saw the end of Callum Davidson's tenure as St Johnstone manager. Motherwell finally had a proper stumbling block as Jim Goodwin, he's starting to get a wee run ahead of him as Dundee United won 2-1. And then Rangers won 5-2 in a game that was like, here's why the 5-sub rule is terrible and really bad, as it was 2-2. And then suddenly they brought on a bunch of players and comfortably won. And then on the Sunday, Celtic within half an hour were 4-0 up against Killie, and then you could very much tell that Ange just went, right, don't push yourselves for the second half, we're fine. What did you make of the other games?
I actually did watch the Ross County Aberdeen Friday night. Duke's just a really, really top player, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
I can't wait till he leaves.
Yeah.
I see today that Benfica B have a 50% sell on, which is fantastic news. That has cheered me up a little bit. It would just be quite funny if like Rangers or something signed him on the cheap, or he went down south on the cheap, just to really annoy them.
Burnley, innit? Burnley's looking.
Burnley's the latest linked, yeah. Yeah, that would be quite funny. Other games, obviously, we had us in the early kickoff. Great. Livingston beating St Jobbie. Nice to see Livingston back to winning ways. Putting some pressure on Hibs for that top 6 spot, which would be that would really make up for the season next week. But sadly, I think the fact that Hibs travel to a managerless St Johnstone, I think they'll have enough. Livy have left it too late yet again. Like that must just kill Davy Martindale, because the run that they were on before Saturday was rubbish.
Yeah.
Whereas you just think, had they picked up like a point or two more in 1 or 2 games, they'd probably be there. Probably have overtaken us as well. Yeah, what a laugh. Try to think what else. The Rangers game, obviously, nobody really cares. What was the other game on Saturday?
The other game on Saturday was Motherwell finally losing.
Oh, yeah, that was a coupon buster. Tell you what, United seem to have caught fire at the right time. What's that? Back-to-back 2-1 wins.
Yep.
Back-to-back Jamie McGrath penalties, proven winners. Yeah, they'll be obviously hoping that we can do them a favour on Saturday.
Yep.
I'm confident of that, not particularly. And Sunday, Kelly are really rubbish, which again just speaks volumes about our performance down there. And it's just like they are honking.
Celtic
It's
are also
Celtic.
really good.
Really, really good. Like that, I honestly get the impression that they'd not missed that penalty, or had Kyogo not missed that penalty, they could have made that anything they wanted. I feel like that, and as you say, like Andrew's probably got one eye on not necessarily next week, but obviously the week after in the Scottish Cup semi. So yeah, was great. I mean, do you know what's really annoying as well is that see when things are going your way in football, you don't notice all the shit stuff. See the minute that something goes wrong, and you find yourself just picking up on everything. Why are Aberdeen only winning by 1 goal each and every game? It really irks me. That's the last 2 away games they've won 1-0. And again, I said it about St Johnstone. You're not trying to tell me that Andy Considine wasn't trying to get himself sent off. Don't care.
If they get third, that's the argument you're taking to the judiciary panel to get them kicked out.
Guarantee it'll be by 3 points or something as well. So be by 2 points. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
but I'm trying to think of what else was I going to say? Yeah, Kelly are just really rubbish, which again angers me. And this run that we need something from somewhere.
Yes, we definitely do. As we were the early kickoff on the Saturday, and that something from somewhere was not at Easter Road, unfortunately. No. As the 4th Edinburgh Derby? Yeah, 4th Edinburgh Derby season. Yeah, in all competitions. Started, and it was obviously Stephen Naismith's first game in charge of the men's team, as opposed to the B team that he was in charge of. Big game, big calls are often needed, and obviously, in the week that we've had, Robert Snodgrass has left the club. Not officially, I don't think.
I was about to say, he's in the process of leaving, I think.
Yes. However, that wouldn't have affected the team selection anyway, as he was, of course, suspended. But the team that Stephen Naismith picked was as follows. It was the return in Xander Clark in goals, which was very, very positive. It was a back four of Stephen Kingsley, Kai Rolls, Toby Sibbick, and Michael Smith. It was either a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, very interchangeable, I know. So it was a 3 in midfield of Andy Halliday, George Grant, and Cammy Devlin, with Alan Forrest and the returning into the starting 11, Barry Mackay, just behind or just alongside Lawrence Shankland. What did you make of the team when you saw it was announced at 11:15?
Very specific with your timings there.
Yep.
I thought it was as strong as we could have named. Realistically, I think had Josh Ginnelly been fully fit, that perhaps changes. Why are you looking at me like that?
I would argue there's another person that should have been in that team.
Oh, Alex Cochrane, of course.
There we go. Yeah.
Bar Cochrane. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just forgetting. Like I watch Stephen Kingsley play these days, and it's just it looks like a dog that needs put down. It's like you are just a shadow of your former self. It's really quite sad. Sorry, I completely forgot about Alex Cochrane.
Shocking. I mean, fucking clearly every manager that's at the club just now keeps forgetting about Alex Cochrane.
We're all suffering from this anti-Cochrane syndrome.
And I'm just here banging the drum going, let him back in, please.
I know. It's just, but yeah, other than that, sorry, in an offensive sense, from midfield to attack,
yes,
I thought that was pretty much as strong as we could have named. Not that the performance would have told that story though.
That was kind of the two I said on Twitter when I saw the team. I was like, the big positives are Clark's back. That's great.
That was huge.
That was massive. We've remained with the 4 at the back. I was worried we'd change to a weird shape. James Hill was dropped. That was big as well. But as we say, and listen, of course I'm going to say it, but I think the one positive of the last few weeks has been it seems that the fan base collectively have come around to my side and just been like, play Alex Cochrane regardless of context. Like, he needs to play.
I don't know what's happening. It's just bizarre, isn't it? Like,
Do you think Naismith's logic was get as much experience into that team as possible?
Perhaps.
I disagree with that mindset, but that's the only mindset I can think of Why Ian Dowling?
Surely you play your best and most informed players. And Stephen Kingsley, like I alluded to earlier, has been off it for a good wee while.
Yeah.
He's got no option really but to go with Barry Mackay in an offensive sense. And it looked like for once he was actually going to turn up in a big game.
Yeah.
But I can't say I was overly surprised or like I would have chosen that team bar Cochrane for Kingsley, really.
Yeah. I think that was kind of the mindset of everybody. It was very interesting to look at both fan bases because both fan bases, there was a lot of criticism of the teams and neither fan base seemed very confident going into it.
I think as well for me, mate, I like Toby Sibbick. And I like that he and Kai Rolls, that should be the starting duo at centre-half at the minute. We just, like I say, I don't know what it is, man. Just need I think it's a confidence thing.
Yeah.
With the way that we are at the minute. It's bound the run of form is bound to take its toll mentally. And like I say, it doesn't matter if we batter Ross County, if we scrape past them 1-0, just need a win from somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm interested because obviously now, I know we'll come on to the game in a second, but we have made the top 6 because of the goal swing with Livingston.
Hey, listen, there could be a 21 goal swing. We don't know. Ross County might come at the traps.
Okay, I'd like to think that we've made the top 6, given the frankly, put it this way: if we don't make top 6, what would you like to see us do? There's one for the listeners, because it would take something remarkable. Albeit, if there is a club that could find a way to somehow jump out of that, it is us.
Yeah, true.
But I was going to ask
I know what to happen. Because that would just be funny.
I was going to ask, what would you want in terms of order of fixtures? Because for me, just leave the Old Firm as the last 2, please.
Yeah, so
it's not going to happen, but
generally,
Celtic in particular, I'd take.
Yeah.
Because I see there's rumours that it could be at Parkhead.
It's most likely going to be at Parkhead, yeah.
Which is just an absolute nonsense.
Yes,
so save that for the last day of the season and we can end our season a week early.
Yeah. Normally, in normal circumstances, I'd say get them the first 2 games to just get them out the way and then go, right, final 3 weeks of the season, run in. However,
we need a win.
That's not within the context of 6 in a row losses. Yeah. We need a win, so I would agree. I would hope that I think they'll actually bookend. I think we'll play one of the Old Firm in the first and one of them at the end.
God, that's even worse.
Which is in many ways the worst situation.
That could be the worst possible outcome.
Yeah, I think we'll be away to Celtic Park first game and then at home to Rangers final day of the season.
Oh, Jesus, that is the pits.
Yeah, I think
that is honestly, if you could name me a worse outcome than that, I'd be astonished.
I think that.
God, sadly, that sounds stinking.
I think sadly that is the way it's going to be. I just want to. We'll get into the game. A slight bit of context. Hearts TV didn't upload the highlights package, and I wasn't going to watch the whole game.
Is that really surprising?
No. So this is the Sports Scene highlights package. So if anything's been missed out,
another great TV program.
Yeah,
honestly.
Well, I'm very glad they actually included this because I wasn't sure if they were going to. But the first meaningful bit of action actually comes 2 minutes in, as Kevin Nisbet plays a ball over the top, looking for Eliuan, and Michael Smith stretches for it and actually makes an excellent interception to prevent Eliuan getting in, but immediately pulls up, and you can tell he's in an immense amount of discomfort, ends his afternoon. Nathaniel Atkinson comes on. Now, in the immediate aftermath, I think a lot of people felt that's it. That's Smith done for the season, knackered. We are hearing now that it's not as severe as first thought, and that there's a lot of optimism.
Nice.
There's a lot of optimism that he actually will be back for the last few games of the season, not just the last game of the season.
He'll be back for when Rangers absolutely batter
us. Yeah, that's all that's going to happen. But I very much hope that's the case. In my opinion, that was almost the worst possible start that you could have happened. Obviously, there's worse, like if Shanklin gets hurt.
Scoring.
Yeah. If Shanklin gets hurt, if Sibbick gets hurt, it's probably they're the 2 players that are worse to get hurt if you think of the context of our season.
I maybe argue roles more so because where are you going to find a left side?
Oh yeah,
I
we
suppose
literally.
I suppose you could shift
Kingsley.
Kingsley in,
yeah,
Kingsley in a 2.
Oh yeah, it would still be shit, but it's like top goal scorer and like best centre half would both be missing.
Yeah.
Smith is like third or fourth in that list, and I just thought, and I know, listen, clearly the tactic from Hibs was put Yuan on Smith and get him running because Smith is 60, like in football in years and can't run, but I still think he's experienced. Smith, I understand why. I saw some people say, why is Atkinson not starting? I understand why Smith was starting.
Who said that?
Yeah, I know. I know. There was a section of the support who was saying that to her. But
was it the same folk that said that he actually was decent when he came on?
Well, this is what I wanted to. Because of the sportsing package, this is going to be a weird discussion because we're sometimes going to speak about highlights and we're sometimes going to speak about individuals, and it's going to be a weird mix. Atkinson I want to speak about now because I actually felt in the first half Atkinson was one of our most positive players in terms of getting forward, but it summed up Nathaniel Atkinson as a footballer because he was positive in getting forward. Nothing came of it though, and secondly, he wasn't brought on to be a winger. He was brought on to be a defender, and again,
up against arguably their main threat, or in my opinion, second biggest threat.
And again, Atkinson wasn't directly at fault for any moments that we nearly conceded from. I don't think. Obviously, he gives away the corner, but it's more of he's in a wrong place at a wrong time kind of situation. I can't think of a single moment where he actually was like, oh, Atkinson fucked up, Hibs are in. But I can think of just most of the game where it was like, oh, Atkinson isn't where we need him to be. Or Atkinson, where is he? Atkinson, what is he doing in that situation?
I mean, he only lost his man for the goal or whatever.
Is it Atkinson?
Oh, yeah. Have you not watched it back?
I have, but I can't tell because it's
100%.
Is it Atkinson? Right.
Well, Atkinson's most at fault for me, but we'll come to that. I notice again, as we so often do, come out in the press and say stuff like, I've got nothing to prove, or we're a really good team, or this usual crap that we come out with to fill papers and ultimately make headlines. He by all accounts is adamant that he has nothing to prove. I think he's got everything to prove. Personally, I don't see what he's seen. Even then, in an offensive sense, we'll put it this way: an OAP in footballing terms is keeping you out of the team. There's got to be a reason for that.
Yeah, I disagree with what he said in this. I read it this morning where he was like,
"Got nothing to prove." It wasn't just me that saw that
and stuff like that. I saw the reaction to it, and I expected it to be people criticizing what he said about
proportion that or whatever.
But I disagree, and this was kind of echoed by a few people on Twitter, where I disagree with people getting on him for commenting in the press because it's not his choice. It's not like Atkinson went, right, Edinburgh Derby lost, let's get Barry Anderson on the phone, and I've got some things to say. No player likes doing it, but you have to fulfill media obligations. And when you're in that position, there is no professional footballer who's got to sit and go, we're all shit, by the way. This is shit. We're not going to do anything. Every one of them...
You've been right rotten for ages. So just get on at me.
No one's going to say that. They're all going to just say those generic media that you see at every level in the game, where it's just, if you're on a good run, it's can't read into it too much. Next game's the most important. If you're in a bad run, if you're in a bad run, can't read too much into it. Next game's really important. We'll all stick together.
I mean, this perfectly segues into third doesn't matter, does it, McIver?
Well, right. I'm going to probably be in the minority here where I don't have as much of an issue with what he said as most people. Because...
Neither do I.
Oh, okay.
Okay. No. I thought that we were alluding to this. Stephen, what do the fans want him to come out and say?
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
100%. We absolutely have to get third, otherwise the season's a write-off and it's a failure. Of course he's not going to say that.
No.
If we're on such a barren run that the manager's lost his job, the last thing that the caretaker manager is going to come in and do is go, oh yeah, I'm going to put all this pressure on the players by saying third is an absolute must. Otherwise, we're terminating all your contracts.
I'm so glad.
Fucking hell.
I'm so glad you're saying this. I thought this was going to be the main point of contention in this episode. So I fully agree with you. It's like, listen, probably, we're all grown-ups here. Naismith's probably saying, listen to what I'm saying to Brian McLaughlin. We need third. Come on, get this done. But, because also, you're right in terms of, it does the squad no favours or the club no favours if Naismith...
Of course it doesn't.
It also doesn't do Naismith any favours.
He'll want the job. Why would he instantly put that pressure on himself? I couldn't believe it. It's the same folk that literally say, like me, that Hearts do, actions speak louder than words. He's downplaying it, and yet, he can't win.
Yeah.
You either want him to come out and say that third's an absolute must and fall flat on his face, or downplay it, and then it's not seen as much of a failure.
Additionally, people haven't read what Naismith actually said, because his point is that if we don't think about third and focus more about getting confidence and playing to your best, then
the
third will take care of itself.
Yeah, of course it does.
Yeah, exactly. I cannot tell you how happy I am that we agree on this, because I thought it was going to be the biggest point.
I can't tell you how angry I was when I read fans saying oh my God, this is absolute nonsense. This isn't the winning mentality we're after. Oh my God, Naismith's a loser.
Because imagine if he'd said it after we get beat by Hibs, and folk would have then gone, well, we're not going to fucking get third if you're playing
prior
like
to
that.
The derby, these would be the same clowns that would instantly leap in. They'd be the first to quote tweet it. Oh my God.
I apologise for not thinking higher of you.
Yeah, thanks. I'm glad they were held in such high esteem. Thanks for that.
Well, getting back to the game, there was a couple of chances for each side. Joe Newell hits over the bar from the edge of the 6-yard box. Should score. Mackay picks it up on the left-hand side, plays the ball into the box, but it kind of gets stuck under Shanklin's foot, misses it. Devlin, Mackay, everybody just kind of goes for it and ends up out for a goal kick. But the main chance of the first half then comes as a ball is swung in. I think it's Jake Doyle-Hayes swings it in. Cadden beats Kingsley in the air, knocks it down. It kind of bundles about the place, and it falls to Yuan about 3 yards in front of goal. He fires it. I think he's trying to put it far corner instead of drilling it.
Clark's right-hand side.
Yeah. Clark sticks out a boot, and it's just an amazing save.
Top save. How he doesn't score again is beyond me. This is where stats are so deceiving as well, because I was obviously listening to the game on the radio. So I think, who was on the panel? It was Yogi Hughes,
Michael Stewart,
and was it Liam McLeod on commentary, I think. Anyway, they were all making out as though Hibs were battering us first half. And then when I watched the game back, it does appear that way. Yet the stats were so deceiving, because it said we had 65% possession. And if I'm not mistaken, maybe a shot or two more, or a shot or two
I think so,
on target.
Yeah, I think
so. Again, the naked eye tells you so much, and that first half performance was tough.
Well,
Hibs always do this at Easter Road, though. Sorry to cut you off, but
that's all right.
They always seem to come out and are just desperate to get that goal early. It depends. Yeah. I think at Easter Road we need to ride out the storm, and then more often than not, that takes its toll mentally on Hibs. They start to think, well, we're not going to break Hearts down today. Maybe it's just imperative that we keep it tight and just settle for a point, say.
I think that's exactly how this half went, because you see it that with the exception of the Shanklin getting stuck in control or whatever. Yeah, that's not really a chance. The chances were Hibs, because they had all those chances. Then Nisbet gets past Rolls and cuts it back to Yuan, who fires over. And that was about the 35-minute mark. And you're thinking, or maybe half an hour mark, and you're thinking, this is terrible. We're playing really badly.
Are we ever going to get into this game?
Yeah. And then for the final 15 minutes, we actually finished the stronger of the two sides. We had a corner swung in from Mackay. It's met by Halliday, but he heads it down into the ground, and Marshall kind of just makes himself big, and it hits off him. And generally, we were actually getting the ball and making use of our possession. which is something that in the second half we very much did not do.
No.
We were actually getting the ball. Mackay, it was probably his best half in like
for a good wee while.
Months.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like he was actually really involved, getting past people. So that takes it to half time. And at half time, I was like, I don't think either side will be particularly happy, but I don't think either side will be particularly gutted with how they've played. I think a draw was very much a fair result. You could argue, though, Yuan's chance is so big, he should score it. So Hibs fans are probably thinking, oh, God, that's going to come back to bite us and stuff like that. But
yeah, you do get in that way of thinking on a derby day.
Yeah.
Of course you do. I think the main thing for me is that it was there for either team. It was just a case then of who fancied it the more. And that's what I can't fathom. Had Hibs beaten us with a moment of individual brilliance, sometimes you just got to take them on the chin.
Yeah, absolutely.
For a Hibs side that are in rotten form, to want it more than we do, given we, prior to the weekend, had more to play for, I can't get that out of my head. I don't understand it. It's like Hibs wanted it more to keep Lee Johnson's job and to potentially finish in the top 6. We've just said and mouthed off about how the interim manager said that third isn't the be-all and end-all. Everybody connected to Hearts knows that third is huge, massive. So why you're then not fighting? First of all, the derby should get you up for it. Like, you should be up for the derby anyway. But when you've got that much on the line, to end such a rotten run of form, to go for third place, get back in Europe yet again, and to just crumble like we did in the second half, I can't fathom that. And again, I don't know who's responsible here, because Stephen Naismith's just in the door. I don't know if that's a mindset that's previously existed through Robbie. Then I start to think, is that come from the coaches? Is that on solely the players themselves? If that's what kind of preventing them from kicking on and why they're limited and perhaps they're at Hearts? I don't know. I'd be intrigued to get your thoughts.
I think it goes back to what you were saying earlier. It's like, this is just a team currently that is bereft of confidence.
Yeah.
Like, utterly bereft of it. And that's really, I know so many people will say, but like, it's football, you take your chances of it. It's like, yeah, but there is the mental aspect. These are guys who have just been like not performing. Yeah, not performing because of a manager.
Nobody likes going out to lose.
No.
Hearts players aren't actively going out to lose.
No, of course. Exactly.
But the effort, it was as though because we've got such a decent recent record against Hibs, we just thought we'd go Easter Road and beat them again. And that's not how this fixture works.
I think it like the second half we'll get into now. Spoiler alert, there is no highlights for us. There is not a single positive thing to say. Passive is how I summed up the second half. Which is
it's just what we've seen for weeks.
It's also the most damning thing you can say in a derby.
Fully.
Because it's like, yeah, you can, as you say, you're spot on. This has been weeks and weeks and weeks of passive play. But you're like, at the very least, it's a derby. Just like getting about it kind of thing. But no one really did that, except, ironically enough, except Devlin in the first 20 minutes, who gets booked, and that then kills his game because he's so reliant on flying into tackles and stuff like that.
Can I just say, obviously, I've missed a good chunk of Hearts games with gaining some experiences as Kilbride's matchday media. So the manager left the club a couple weeks back. Our interim manager is an under-18s, under-20s coach with Scotland. His assistant, Mark McKenna, is part of the Scotland staff. Mm-hmm. He said to me on Saturday, or he said to the bench or whatever on Saturday afternoon, I can't get this out of my head. He said, it's football, you just run about. That's from somebody that works in the Scotland set. Like, football is that basic that even when it's not going well, just run about a bit. Yeah. Look like you're trying to make stuff happen. We didn't even have that.
That's the big thing about how, like,
Just a little bit of application. That's all I'm asking for.
How simple football fans are to please. Where it's like, just fucking run about and we'll be like, yes, well done, you did it.
The whole, give it all, like everything for the badge and like all this. Like, yes, that type of stuff's cringy, but you do want to see that. You want to see them play like you or I would. Like, I'd be gone after 5-10 minutes. But I'd be busting a gut in that inside 5-10 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is what you're paid to do. I don't understand.
Well, we'll speak about one individual who's paid to do it because he was very much one of the main talking points coming out the game. So, first highlight of the second half is Stevenson beats Atkinson in the box, who crosses it into Naismith, who is waiting for it. However, it's excellently blocked by Kai Rolls. Now, Kai Rolls was one of the names on everyone's lips involved with this game, because after the game, Stephen Naismith specifically mentioned Kai and said he was very good. Now, he didn't give context to that statement at the time, which I think was the main issue that a lot of people had with it. But I believe it was the Broken Hearts podcast. Apologies if it wasn't. Put on Twitter, where they tried to explain it a bit more, what Naismith was saying. Kai Rolls was statistically the best performing defender across both teams in most metrics, in headers out the box, in aerial duels, in blocks, interceptions. So that's what Naismith meant, and he kind of then elaborated on it this week where he said that Rolls was the best player at defending our box, meaning balls coming in, stuff like that. Rolls was very good with it. The problem is that he barely won any aerial duels. So when he was going up for a ball uncontested, it was easy to kind of just move a crowd, shout that he's coming for it and go for it. But when it was him and a Hibs player going for it, he only won one duel, I think out of 4. Now, this has now been a trend across Kai Rolls for the last 6 games. Stephen Fletcher, Kyle Vassell, Curtis Main, now Kevin Nisbet. I think a lot of people are kind of taking Rolls as black or white. Either he's amazing and that people are just wrong to criticise him, or the majority opinion just now, which seems to be he's rubbish and should be sold in the summer. Whereas and I don't know about you, I'm like, I think this is a defender in a dip of form who hasn't had a break since returning from injury and clearly has a weakness to his game, which is his physical strength, that will hopefully he does a Halkett and comes back in the summer with 2 stone of weight put on his shoulders and just suddenly becomes amazing. I don't think you can be a centre-half who plays in the last 16 of the World Cup and is heralded throughout the whole tournament. I don't think you can be at that level and then become a terrible player. I think he's in a dip. A fucking big dip, but I think it's a dip.
I think you're spot on about Kai Rolls. I do. I think he's a top player. Is he perhaps is he sort of the prime example as to where this Hearts squad is currently? Maybe. Whereby, do you know what I mean? He could be the symbol of where we're at. In that, on our day, best of the rest. But at this current minute in time, miles off the pace. You said it perfectly. You've summed it up. You've given various examples of centre forwards that have had a torrid time. My concern is Jordan White, who isn't the most prolific goal scorer on Saturday, and then most likely, because I think Eamon Brophy's injured, Simon Murray running off him.
Yeah.
That's going to be a pretty nervy clash to watch White and Murray up against Civic and Rolls, you'd imagine.
Yeah.
But if we can shut the pair of them out and get back to winning ways, that should give him and the entire back line a massive lift. I honestly think that's all it's going to take. I really do, because you said it, he's got the talent. I mean, everybody, like, not even just those with an invested interest in Scottish football, everybody took up or sort of took notice, sat up and took notice. That's what I was trying to say.
There you go.
At Australia's performances in the World Cup. Because he and Harry Souttar as a duo were phenomenal. Very good. And then obviously they've lost to the eventual winners, so there's no shame in that.
Yeah.
What with the greatest of all time eventually winning his trophy. But nonetheless, need that win. Need him to stand up, be counted, and bully Jordan White at a minimum, but ideally Simon Murray as well.
You think also he's kind of Halkett 2019-20, where he needs Halkett now. Like Halkett needed Souttar to kind of
I get what you mean.
Like, get back to normal and then go, right, okay, I can do this now. Like, I'm fine.
And Civic's come back in, but previously it was Hill, then the week before it was Civic.
Yeah.
Like, it needs to be constant. We can't have chopping and changing. I mean, we alluded to Callum Davidson losing his job.
Mm-hmm.
That, for me, looks to be a key thing where I couldn't tell you the last time St Johnstone named the same team back-to-back. It's always like a constant, and that can't be healthy because you're wanting to establish relationships on the park. And, there's a good point. He and Civic, it should be for the foreseeable.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting what happens when Halkett comes back into the equation, when there's a new manager in place, whether we stick to a 4 at the back, whether we go to a 3, have wing backs. It's interesting. But for the time being, I firmly believe it's got to be a back 4 roles and Civic at the heart of it, definitely.
I do just want to say, I'm not saying he was good on Saturday. He was terrible for most times on Saturday. I'm just saying for people, because I know a lot of people are like, any praise of Rolls is disgraceful just now. But it's just like to give context.
How can you praise any of our Hearts players when we lost 1-0?
Exactly.
I'll praise Clark for the saves, for keeping it down, because it could have been more.
Well, Jonio sends a long ball over to Nisbet, who fires over the bar.
Was that the one where he cut in from the right-hand side?
Yes, it was.
How much joy did he and Cadden get down the right-hand side up against Kingsley?
So this is what I now wanted to speak about before we move on to the goal.
Perfect.
Cochrane came on after am I right? Cochrane came on after we conceded.
Oh, I'll check. But
let's operate on that fact as you find out.
Okay.
I don't understand. I think he did, because I remember immediately Cochrane started getting joy going down that. Well, to him, the left-hand side. But yes, Hibs are attacking the right-hand side.
Cochrane came on 74, yes, he did.
So, I don't want to, kick Stephen Kingsley when he's down. Stephen Kingsley will know he's not in good form. Yeah, it's not even that Kingsley's in a dip, because Kingsley's been this bad all season, since he went to Scotland Squad in September. That's
that Ukraine game, and he got his little cameo, and that was
that's the majority of this season. It isn't just Rolls has been off it for the last couple of months, whereas Kingsley's been on it for the first month of the season and then been off it ever since. And it's it genuinely is. It's frustrating that Kingsley's still playing. Obviously, it would be if you have an out-of-form player, but it makes it 10 times worse that he's getting picked over the second best player of the season. We've seen certain former players today speak about that their mate was the second best player of the season, which is mental to fucking say when Alex Cochrane's in the same side.
Can I just say, you can tell the ones that don't watch Hearts every week, even the pals acts, you've alluded to RS and RS.
Exactly.
I'm going to allude to MS and RN. Whereby Michael Stewart has been getting caned on Sportsound, and quite rightly so, by Tom English, Kenny McIntyre, and whoever else. I can tell you're not watching. I can tell. It's
it was like McFadden. It was like McFadden with Davidson. When McFadden was just it's an absolute disgrace. He's won a cup double. It's but then they've won 7 out of 32 games.
Mate, it was I saw a stat today. They've picked up something 8 points out of the last 45. And yet folk are shocked.
It is so infuriating. And that's what I mean. Obviously, loyalty is not a bad thing, but loyalty can be a bad thing to a team game. So when Kingsley
sentimentality can be a bad thing.
Yeah. So when I mean as a management team, are picking Kingsley because of his amazingness last year. It's like that's damaging to the team generally because we're worse with him in it. But it's also specifically damaging to Cochrane because it's like,
what have I got to do?
What's he meant to do? Yeah. Like, it's like I have a bad game and I'm bombed out. Whereas Kingsley can have months and months and months of not being good. And he just is like, it's all right, lads. Mind my free kicks. Last year, they were great. I'm still here.
Remember when I filled in just about every single area on the park?
Yeah, exactly.
Did a job.
That was amazing.
Yeah. Do we think that Cochrane doesn't strike me as a troublemaker, though?
But my point is this.
There has to have been something that's gone on behind the scenes involving him as to why my man's not starting.
It very much is one of those situations where it's like, you're all grown-ups here. He's one of our best players.
Sort it out. Yeah,
like it out. It's irrelevant because if Nielsen wanted to keep his job, play Cochrane. If Naismith wants to have the best opportunity to get this job, play
your
Cochrane.
Best players and it'll give you the best chance. It's not rocket science, is it? Yeah, exactly. I agree.
And, well, who knows what would have happened if Alex Cochrane had been on the park at this corner. As a long ball's played over the top. I don't actually know who it is that plays. Maybe Joe Newell. I can't remember. But it doesn't. It's not a particularly great one. However, Yuan gets to it and just hits it off Atkinson. Goes out for a corner.
Such an annoying. Like, of course, it's annoying now to have conceded that. But do you know what I mean? Like, after the event, it's just so much worse because, again, so preventable. But carry on.
Jake Doyle-Hayes swings it in. It's our old friend again, zonal marking.
Hate it.
Literally, I genuinely think this was like, there's a part of me, we're speaking about you with your conspiracy theories, right, about Andy Considine. Here's my conspiracy theory, that the team hates zonal marking so much, they went, right, we're going to do zonal marking to the letter and show you how shit it is, so you never make us do this again. As goes to the back post, Hanlon meets it, plays it back across the box, right to the penalty spot. Nisbet's there. There's nothing Clark can do as it's hit like a train at him. And it's 1-0 Hibs. I'll be honest, the main people I've focused in the goal is the team generally and how there's 8 players around Nisbet and none of them are moving except for him. And the kind of, a lot of the talk has been about Humphreys just standing on the edge. Yeah. But you've noticed Atkinson, so I'll kind of defer to you on what he does.
Well, first of all, I love Toby Civic, as I've alluded to a bit. Got to do better up against Talon. Like, why bother marking the £3 million striker or 3.5, 4, whatever he's been quoted for? Why would we let him just be the only person that moves in the box? Like, it makes, honest to God. And then you've got, as you like, you've put this on me. Atkinson loses him with ease. Humphreys doesn't look the least bit interested.
Humphreys is just fucking standing there.
And this is again the annoyance with zonal marking because there's no accountability now. Because now I feel guilty that I've put too much blame on Atkinson.
Yeah, of course.
Is it Civic's fault? Is it Atkinson's fault? Is it Humphreys' fault? Is it a collective of the three of them's faults? Is it George Grant for maybe not picking anybody up or blah 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 blah? And yet again, like a set piece. If a game's lacking in quality, they can be won or lost by a set piece. That's how pivotal they can become. And the fact that we switch off at one, like, fuck me.
But it is like, if you ask the Hearts fan for the game, how are we going to lose this derby if we lose it?
Cross ball, yeah.
A cross
ball and Nisbet slams home. There you go. There's your money.
And listen, I don't expect Naismith within 4 days to be able to fix our years-long issue with defending a corner.
If he could, he should just get the job now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. If at Ross County we are suddenly class at defending set pieces, get them in. But it just is like, this is the nadir of it. It's like, this is what it's cost us. It's cost us a derby win, which is worse than like so many other things.
Yeah, it is. And again, like, I hate to be this guy, but like the law of averages said that firstly, Kevin Nisbet had to score in the derby.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And secondly, they had to beat us. And the fact that both of them have come in tandem when we can prevent it is really
very frustrating.
It makes it all the more annoying. But my frustration then is just like not even threatening in response. Really.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The only other highlight that made it into the sports team package was Nisbet gets another chance where he probably should pass it to Campbell, who's running in. But again, he chooses to go himself, but puts it past the post. Yeah, we didn't threaten at all. I think it was another game. Listen, he seems to be very divisive amongst certain people, in particular me and my father. But I think it was another game where you're like, we need Gino. We need him so much as an out ball. Like
just something.
Yeah, like he can. Yeah. He's one of those players where it's like, I trust Gino to do something in a game.
Because he always looks. He looks for kind of. I don't know how to invest some of this. He sort of looks for situations.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like Forrest or Mackay are as likely to gamble in behind as a Josh Ginnelly would.
No, because they're wingers that are like
they're touchline huggers.
Yeah, he's not played Ginnelly this season.
Could sneak in behind. Like if Ginnelly played up with someone, like a Humphreys, say, and you've just got him flicking them on for Ginnelly to run in behind, it's much more of a threat. Without Josh Ginnelly, we don't carry that same threat.
Yeah, and I get he's frustrating. He loves a cut-in when a cut-in is not on, and it can be infuriating.
His cross is better than it was before, though.
Yeah, definitely.
He used to send crosses into the bloody Roseburn constantly.
Yeah. But it was just one of the games where it's like, we need him. I don't think he'll be here next year, though.
No, neither do I.
And I think it's like, right, he's our best winger.
I think his head's been turned, and I don't know necessarily who by. But again, like, this is the sort of thing where you need a decent run kind of toward the business end of the season, because it's a much more attractive proposition for, like, if Josh Ginnelly's in the team and scoring goals, there's a better likelihood that he'll stay.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I think he maybe gets the impression whereby he sort of looks at it and goes, well, we finished third last year. I couldn't really have done any more in the campaign or throughout my time here. We were unlucky in a couple finals. That's basically about it.
Yeah. I hope he stays because, I mean, this season he's been objectively our best wide player.
I think he's been our second best attacker this season.
Yeah, I think I think he's got 9 goals, 5 assists. I think it's like when have we had a wide player kind of bring in those numbers? Like it's such a rarity.
I do like Gino, but I've got the fear that he's away.
And that brings an end to the first Derby loss in this decade. Quite a wee while.
Jesus, when you put it like that, yeah. Boxing Day 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wonder what happened that season.
Take on the it's one of those. I don't know if it's just because we're on this run, but I think it would be worse if we'd been winning all the time and we lose it to Hibs. I was obviously absolutely beside myself when it actually happened. But now, days removed, I'm kind of like, right, okay, you take it on the chin.
Put it this way, there's worse ones to lose.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully, it's the kick up the arse that we need to move into the final 5 games, which, as Adam has referenced several times throughout the episode, we are playing Ross County, who fell to bottom of the league.
Just what I was going to say. Like, how many times would you kill to have a team bottom of the league to end sort of a mini drought or a run? Yeah. This is not one of said times.
No, it's absolutely not. But they will travel down. I feel for them, like a 12:30 kickoff getting for Dingwall.
Again,
down.
No consideration for the fans. Don't care that it's on the telly. Just absolute nonsense.
Nah. I don't know how they're going to do it, but fair play to anybody who does make the trip. I annoyingly thought I was going to be able to miss the game, but I'm not. I've now got nothing on, so I'm like, I'm now kind of got to go to the game. So right, I'm going. How do you see this going? We're going to have to play either Atkinson or Hill. One of them will be. You imagine it will be Atkinson, but apart from that, everybody else is available. The big news that has happened today is that our best outfield player is back in training as Liam Boyce. is back, but
in contention
obviously
to face his former club, but it'll be off the bench if anything.
I don't think he will feature for us this season still.
Do you not?
No, because I don't want to potentially re-aggravate. I get it if
there's no point.
Listen, see if we play Aberdeen at home last game of the season and it comes down to that game, then I could be like, well, I can see why you'd play Boyce, but generally
depends on the circumstances.
Yeah, generally I'll be very surprised if we see Boyce for any period of time. I'd love to, but I don't think it would happen. However, the squad. Imagine that the squad that was there on the Derby is the squad you have to choose from. Who would you be looking to see? Or maybe a better question is, who would you be hoping not to see?
I'll put it this way. I think the only changes that he's likely to make are in the fullback areas.
Yeah.
If anywhere.
Yeah.
I need to look at the bench again on Saturday because I genuinely couldn't even.
I can remember most of it. It was Garang, Oda, Haring, Humphreys, Atkinson, Hill, and Stewart. I think that's 8. I think it was 8.
4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, right. Okay.
There's no much there's no much there.
Would he be inclined to go 2 up, maybe with Humphreys?
Maybe.
Don't know.
4-4-2. Just go back to basics. Come on.
Don't see what's wrong with that, to be honest.
We don't know if Gino's back, in fairness.
Yeah, because you said he was limping.
Yeah.
So...
But there was rumours that he was potentially going to be in contention for the Derby, but he just missed out. So with an extra weeks of training, there's a chance that he's back. Maybe, again, just a bench situation and bring on for the last 20 minutes.
Ultimately, this is going to sound really arrogant, and I don't intend for it to come across. We should have, whatever 11 we feel realistically should beat Ross County. But to be honest, having watched them on Friday night, I actually thought they were really unlucky against that.
Yeah, they were.
Which just gives me the fear because, their luck has to change. And again, in recent fixtures against us, they have been unlucky.
Yeah, they have.
Particularly at Tynecastle. So... Oh God, I don't know. If you're asking me, the only changes that I would make would be Cochrane in for Kingsley, and Atkinson in for obviously Michael Smith.
I know a lot of people, and I think I was saying it after the game in the immediate half an hour, and now it's a few days later. I'm kind of like, right, okay. I understand people's want to just chuck youth in. Where it's for example, we see this past weekend, he's doing it again. Mackenzie Kirk has got something like 17 goal contributions in 20 games in the Lowland League.
Well, Hearts B play Dalbeattie Star tonight, and I noticed that there was fans saying that there's no Lewis Nielsen and no Finlay Pollock in the squad.
Well,
so
Pollock was
what you will.
Pollock was the one I was going to mention because I can understand people say chuck Pollock in, just see what happens. There's no pressure on them, but I would argue there is a lot of pressure on them because this is the game that we need to win if we want to still have a chance at third.
Sorry, they've taken Naismith's quotes literally.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's absolutely no chance that we're getting third, so yeah, now's the time.
Yeah, I think...
Whereas there's a slight chance. Am I confident that we'll get there?
No.
But... until it's mathematically impossible, we need Rangers to do us a favour.
Well, what I was going to say was we could be. But
put the pressure on by winning our game first. Focus on our games. Whatever happens, happens.
We could be sat here next week, 2 points behind Aberdeen. Yeah. There is a chance we could be sat here 8 points behind Aberdeen.
That's the nightmare scenario.
Yeah, that's it. Well, then that's it's gone.
Yeah, that's it done.
Yeah. I still think it's gone now, but
so die for what it's worth.
It's not mathematically impossible.
No, we've got to keep scrapping till the very last.
Yeah. So I don't think Finlay Pollock is the best. I mean, it would be a story he's the one. A youngster gets us back on track.
Honestly, that would melt my heart.
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
That would be one of the moments of the season. 100%.
Gets his first goal in that, but I think it's
going to happen.
It's not fair on him, really.
No.
So I would agree. I think I would like to see Gino win if he's fit.
Yes,
but
so would I.
I don't think he will be.
Forrest's expense or Mackay's expense?
Forrest's expense.
Fair. Score?
I'm going 1-1. I don't think we're going to win. I just don't think we're going to win.
It is mad how most folk wouldn't perceive Hearts to be favourites in this fixture, I don't think.
Like
outsiders.
Average. Yeah.
If you're looking at the form, you'd be thinking, how the hell are Hearts like Hearts at home? Nah. Too dodgy given their recent form.
Yeah.
1-0 Hearts.
Yeah, a Finlay Pollock 1-0 winner, or who are you going with?
No, I need it to be from somebody that I'm yet to be convinced by, like a George Grant.
Oh well, I'm very much over the hill with Grant and going, I think he'll fuck what he does now and get him gone this summer.
I still want to give him. Why do I want to give him leeway? Because I'm a nice guy. Shanklin, it'll be.
Yeah, no, it will be.
I'd like for it to be. It'll be a Shanklin pen that won't be a pen, coincidentally. Yeah. But yeah, if you're asking me my dream scenario, it's a George Grant wonder goal from all of 2 yards that he just doesn't even know anything about. Just gets a touch.
I think it will be an Alex Cochrane one where he shushes the bench, getting them to, and then Jordan.
That would be amazing.
I would love that.
Running along the byline.
Everybody else would be annoyed that it looks like he's doing a Presley and shushing us, and I'm just at the top of the stand applauding him. Like, yes.
Everybody else around you is just chucking up various gestures and booing. There's you, like,
come on, Alex.
Well done, mate.
And then in the second half, about the 60th minute, Jordan White will win a flick on to Simon Murray, 1-1, and there's just toxicity for the remaining half an hour.
Tell you what, I don't envy you going to that game on Saturday. That could end very, very ugly. I really hope that Jan Danda doesn't start for County because I really like him and I'm worried that he'll bend Daniel Atkinson up in knots. So if he's on the bench, I'll feel a little bit more confident. But obviously he was back in action on Friday, so we'll see. That's
a perfect segue into the quiz because Jan Danda is actually a subject of the first quiz question.
Well, fancy that.
So, end of the quiz. Now, I explained this to Adam before we came on. I'm going to preempt this. This is the easiest quiz I've done. Now,
you say this now.
I think it's because I'm a nice guy and thought Adam's had a bad week. I'll give him an easy wee quiz, including an easy Who Am I? I think it's the easiest Who Am I I've done.
Oh, don't say this. This is you're just doing a reverse Naismith
and
putting all unnecessary pressure on me.
This is... it doesn't matter if you need your questions. I think you could do this without any questions.
Oh, really?
Yes, but we'll see. Additionally, that's my argument. I'm just a nice guy. The other argument is I forgot I was hosting and had to do this with an hour's prep. So
we've all been there.
Yeah,
we've all done it.
You make your own decision as to why this happened. But we will start with the first question. And it's Jan Danda related. Who has more assists this season? Josh Ginnelly or Jan Danda?
Oh, God. You said Ginnelly's number is 9 and 5. Has Jan Danda got more than 5?
I forgot that I told you that. Shit. I kind of forgot I gave you one half of it.
You know, this just makes me look like a like I can't win in this quiz here because now I look like a numpty either way. I'm going to say that Danda's not. I'm going to say Ginnelly has more assists.
Well, we're 0 for 1 because Jan Danda has 7 assists.
Oh, God.
Right.
This is reverse psychology here.
I promise it wasn't meant to be, but clearly it was.
Mentally, I've gone. I'm just like the team.
True or false?
He's a good player, Jan Danda.
He is. I've signed him in my FM savings class. Hearts versus Ross County has had at least one goal in every game of the last 10 encounters.
False, because we drew 0-0 at Tiny last season, didn't we?
Well done. He's 1 for 2. There we go.
I remember driving up for that and thinking, what a spectacular waste of time.
I was in hospitality that day. Thank fuck I was, because otherwise, what a terrible day it would have been.
Was that with Brad?
Yes, I ended up sitting beside Brad for the game. Question number 2, multiple choice. Before going off Hart, if you include that derby, How many Edinburgh Derbies has Michael Smith played in? Is it A, 15? Is it B, 16? Is it C, 17? Or is it D, 18? So include that derby. It doesn't really count because he played 100 seconds, but...
This would be an easy quiz.
The only reason I've said this is because I've seen this number about 100 times on Hearts Twitter, so I just assumed you also would have seen it.
Nope. Okay. I've been actively staying off Hearts Twitter.
Okay, fair enough.
Depress myself. I had 17 in my head. I'm going to go with it.
He's 2 for 3.
Oh,
it is 17. Well done.
Good. Nice.
Question number 4. How many points separate Hearts and Ross County in the table?
We're on 45.
Mm-hmm.
They're on 27, so 18.
He's got 3 for 4 at the quiz. Yeah. See? I tell you do well. Yeah, the dander one fucked you a bit, but it's fine.
I know. Right. I was gassing Gino up earlier. What can I say?
Yeah, exactly.
Get a finger out, Josh. No, he's been playing recently, but get the finger out.
Who am I? I want you to just say this as well. I was going to, because this is my luck, I was going to do Duo Oshinawa. And then he inexplicably came back to Twitter.
What were those tweets about? He's gagging on a move, isn't he? He's seen Stephen Kingsley's rotten form and thought, if I get the finger out here, I'm having a chance. Never mind Alex Cochrane. What was all that about?
I don't know. But I was like, well, now I can't because he'll be so fresh in your mind.
I saw those tweets. I had folk like sharing them to me. I was like, what the hell?
I have no idea what was happening. But so, thanks, Juwon.
I missed that crazy bastard, man. He was a laugh, Juwon. God is God and all these other hashtags.
I'm glad he found his Twitter account, but he knackered my plans for the Who Am I? So,
belter.
This is very much the least prepared Who Am I I've ever done. So...
Right, okay. It'll probably still escape me given my rotten record in this question, but
14 for 6, remember. Can he make it 14 for 7?
Thanks.
So, I have played in America, Scotland, Ireland, and England. I've won 4 honours in my career, including scoring a penalty in one of them. My first goal for Hearts was in an Edinburgh Derby. I missed a cup final for another side due to being cup tied whilst at Hearts. And my last appearance for the club was in a European tie.
Oocha.
I think if you ask one question, depending on what it is, I think you'll get it.
I played in America. Can you give us that again, please, mate?
I've played in America, Scotland, Ireland, and England. I've won 4 honours in my career, including scoring a penalty in one of them. My first Hearts goal was in an Edinburgh Derby. I missed a cup final for another side due to being cup tied whilst at Hearts. And my last appearance for Hearts was in a European tie. I realise, by the way, I want to clear up that second last clue because I've kind of worded it weirdly. What I mean by that is he missed a cup final because he played in the same competition earlier for us.
Right, okay.
So he was cup tied.
So was then loaned out to his, and his loanee team reached a final.
Yeah.
Oh God. America. Oh Jesus. Who has played in the States? England and Ireland's throwing off as well. Oh, God almighty.
2 questions.
Thought this was going to be easy.
I will say, the only reason I've said that is because I sent this to 2 mates and they came back immediately without any questions and got it. So I panicked thinking this is the easiest one I've ever done. But evidently,
I've buckled
Adam's here.
Yeah, I've gone. I've got mentally, I've gone. I told you this. Oh, right. I'm going to ask. Ask what years they played for Hearts. I think I do. Yeah, between what years did they play for Hearts?
He made his debut for Hearts in 2012. He left Hearts in 2017.
Ay.
Oh,
Debut for Hearts. in 2012, and he left in 2017.
Yep.
Oh my God. This is going to be one that's going to haunt me, isn't it?
You've got one question left.
Oh no, and I don't want to waste it on like a nationality or position. I'm kind of tempted to do the clubs because I feel like I'd have a decent enough memory as to like. Yeah, can I have in order the clubs that he's played for throughout his career?
No, you can't, because you'll
Please.
just get it now.
Right, come on,
right.
it.
Heart of Midlothian.
Yeah.
Rangers.
Yeah.
Inverness. Dundee United. Gillingham or Gillingham. Greenock Morton. St Patrick's Athletic. Northern Colorado Hailstorm.
Who the hell are Northern Colorado Hailstorm?
I can tell you that actually, because that's fine. They're based in Colorado, shockingly. They were founded.
You don't say.
Yep, they were founded in 2021. And they play in the third tier.
Hearts, Rangers. Who left for Rangers in 2017? Oh my God. This is throwing me. This is bad. This is really, really bad.
Interesting.
Hearts, Rangers. Who did you say after that? Dundee
Hearts,
United.
Rangers, Inverness,
Inverness,
Dundee United, Gillingham, Morton, St Patrick's Athletic, Northern Colorado Hailstorm.
I don't have a clue. You know that?
I'd be really interested to see how many people have got it by this point.
Left Hearts in 2017 to go to Rangers. All I can think of is Jason Holt, who isn't. Danny Wilson left for Rangers. Again, it isn't.
You're very confident in these.
Don't give me that. Inverness, Dundee United. Good God. Hearts, Rangers, Inverness, Dundee United. This is winding me up. I don't know it.
Some teams like.
I don't know it. I've got no idea. Oh my God, 4 honours in my career.
Yep. Including scoring a penalty in one of them. By one of them, I mean the final.
Shit the bed. We loaned this player to Rangers, didn't we?
Who knows?
Oh my God, I know it. Oh, thank the fucking Lord, I know it. Thankfully, it's just come to me. Billy King, innit?
It is Billy King.
Yeah,
I thought you'd fucked it by saying who did we sell to Rangers, and I was
my God.
I literally repeated the clue that I was on loan at a club, and I was like, he's ignored it. He's just totally ignored the question.
Oh my God, I forgot about that geezer.
Billy
Jesus. I don't know how he popped into my head since then.
So,
thank the Lord.
To give context,
I would have killed myself had I not got that right.
That's why I was like, how are you not getting Billy King really quickly? Jesus. And then I really panicked earlier in the episode when we were speaking about when was the last time we had a winger do those numbers, because I was like, shit, you'll remember the 14-15 championship season and remember that those 3 were really good.
Yeah, Walker, Nicholson, King. Oh my God.
So,
Jesus wept. Sorry, he plays in the States now?
Yeah, so obviously I've played in those countries. God. That was explained by the clubs. I've won 4 honours in my career. Obviously, Scottish Championship twice.
I was trying to think of like 2018-19, who'd have been at United. And he popped, like, I don't remember his Inverness, like, I roughly remember his Inverness spell, but not really.
Nah.
I can remember him at United vaguely. And then he went over to Ireland, but I couldn't remember who it was for. And then obviously you were talking about clubs and whatever, but.
So,
oh God,
he won the Scottish Championship.
This, and of course, I should have known he's got something to do with this fixture with the Derby.
Yeah. So,
oh my God,
won the Scottish Championship.
I'm just relieved.
Twice.
I'm not even happy. It's just a genuine relief.
Won the Challenge Cup when he was at Rangers, and then he won the what's it called, the FIA Cup when he was at St Patrick's, and it went to penalties, and he scored a penalty in the final.
Oh, there you go.
My
Gillingham.
Yeah.
When did he go to Gillingham?
He went to Gillingham in 2019 on loan from Dundee United.
I was going to say, was that after United? On loan from United?
Yeah. First goal was for Hearts in the Edinburgh Derby, the relegation derby, scores right at the very end. Obviously, the goal that sends Gary Locke.
Yeah.
I missed a cup final due to being tied, cup titleless at Hearts. The cup final in question is the 2016 Rangers Hibs Cup final.
Oh my God.
Yep, he was at Rangers, but he played for us.
Like, when I think of that final, I think of James Tavernier, Rob Kiernan, Andy Halliday, and like Waghorn and Miller.
Well,
I don't think of Billy King at all.
Because he was cup tied, so you couldn't play.
Jesus.
And then
that's such a surreal time that he was even there.
Yeah, that he was there.
Oh my God.
My last appearance for Hearts was in Europe. It was in the FC Tallinn.
Oh, was it the Infinite?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was his last game for us.
I can remember there were 3 fans at Tynecastle. I was pissing myself because they scored that absolute beauty.
Yeah, and those 3 folk going mental.
And then those 3 folk were just going nuts.
Yep. So yeah,
wow.
Billy King.
Oh mate, I'm not even happy. I'm just relieved, honestly. God Almighty. Oh, that's annoying about Danda as well. That should have been a 5.
Yeah, he could have got
2
5.
4s on the spin in the quiz.
Yep.
That's really annoying.
Yep. You'll get there one day.
So
that is now 14-7. You're halfway there. Yes. Come on.
I need to give you some shockers.
I thought that was really easy.
Mate, honestly, that should have been far easier than I made it. Oh, man, I made a dog's dinner of that.
You should have. I think that's the first time where I expected you to get 5 out of 5. And you got 4, which in fairness is like
80% would take that, but
yeah.
Let's just all cool off a bit.
Well, please let us know if you got it and how quick you got it, and if you've just been sat screaming at Adam. I was going to do the clue. His brother is named after one of the co-hosts and pretend that was that. Yeah.
Oh, God. So,
we hope you have enjoyed this episode, even though it's not been a very positive subject matter, but we hope you have regardless. If you have, please leave us a like, comment, and subscribe if you've been watching us on YouTube. If you've been listening to us, please leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. All of that massively helps us. We're at Perth to Paisley on all forms of social media. perthtopaisley@gmail.com if you want to fire us over an email as well. Adam, where can they get you on all the socials?
They can get me on all the socials at Adam T. Kendall. And what about yourself, man?
D. McIver22 will be back next week to discuss, hopefully, a win to break the demise that is currently happening, but inevitably speak about how we drop points again and Tynecastle's now on fire. But until then, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Come on, the Hearts!